it was, and I can relate to a degree, being from a small town in upstate New York myself, although not quite as small as the one you were from. I think back when I was in there, long ago in a galaxy far away, I think it was a population of about 2,500, which was still, it's not a megalopolis by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
So I can relate with the growth and everything. Now, I'm sure you brought a lot of your roots with you. Now, do you still have family back there?
Yes, all of my family is still back there. My parents and my 2 siblings still live in Nebraska, yes.
And how do they feel about your transition, moving to Nashville and, on the road to becoming a star, basically?
Oh, it's been great. They've always been super supportive. So they were all in with me moving here, especially because it was coming here to pursue my dreams. So
sure,
they didn't have any hesitation with me moving here. So it's been great.
Awesome, and that is so important to have that support from your family and friends back home. And I presume you'll be trekking back there as often as you can to keep contact with them. Absolutely. Now, tell us, because this is something that a lot of artists are going to say, "Wow, she did that. How did she do that?" Well, tell us, how did you make obviously you got the spirit to move from whichever inspiration you got, it comes to you and you decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is where I'm going to do it, and this is when. How did you make that transition once you decided you were going to Nashville?
I think it was a multitude of things. Growing up, I was always very interested in music. And as I got older, I just became more involved, whether it was for school or, outside music events. And, as I got into high school and then transitioned into college, it was just something that was always in the back of my mind. And music was always my first passion amongst anything else that I was interested in. And so, when I graduated from college, I actually had a very good discussion with my parents one night. And, they just said, Savannah, nothing's holding you back. Go do it. Go do what you love to do. And you never know what's going to happen. I mean, what is there to lose? I mean, as long as you can say you went down trying, I mean, there's no harm in that. So, it was kind of that talk with my parents that one random night, after I was graduating from college. And that just kind of really gave me the motivation to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. And to be honest, I can't believe I did it. I lived in Pawnee City my whole life. I lived in a small town my whole life, and I never thought I would live in a big city like this. But, it's been fantastic. I can't complain, and I still have the support from my family. I keep in touch with them all the time. And, it's been great. It hasn't, been a horrible experience or anything like that. So, it has been really good.
Savannah, the question that I have for you is, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to ask you, but this last snippet of conversation, it came to me. You've heard of the expression, a watershed moment, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we all have them in our lives, and a real, to me anyway, a real watershed moment is a moment that happens, and you don't realize it at the time until later. Did this happen with you when the realization dawned on you? Oh my gosh, this is what I want to do with my life. And you remember where you were and what you were thinking when you made that decision, even though you may not have realized it at the time that was your watershed moment. Did that happen to you?
Actually, yes. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to pursue music, but it wasn't really until I was with my grandma, my late grandma. We kind of had a moment when she was on her final days, and she was always one of my biggest fans, and she just looked at me and just said, Savannah, you have to do this. You have an incredible voice. This is something you've always wanted to do. And I don't know, something about that moment, that really special moment between me and her, I was just like, you know what, I have to do this. I really have to go do this. And so when I graduated from college, that was the one thing that was on my mind. And I had all the support from my family, and I ended up moving here last year, and it has been absolutely fantastic. So I think she was a huge motivation for me. Just something about that moment that I was just like, I have to do this. Like, she made me realize I have to do it.
Wonderful. And if I can follow up on the next logical step there, which, every artist in the world who's thinking about making a move like this is going to say, okay, I understand I've had my watershed moment, or this has motivated me, or I just decided listening to Savannah that I'm going to do it. Whatever their reason, their motivating factor is, the next thing they have to think of is finances. I mean, you can't just pack up with a pocket change and a gas card, go to Nashville and survive. I mean, Nashville is a wonderful city. I've been there. I have friends there, and there are a lot of great people there. But you've got to kind of be self-sufficient too. How did you?
Yes, you do.
How did you manage to put that together without giving away a lot of personal secrets? Just the professional ones.
Right. It's very true. Moving to Nashville, it is expensive. So you do have to be very mindful of your money for sure. And I found that out very quick after moving here. But I worked really hard in high school and college, and I always had a job while I was in school. So I was very smart and saved up. And that has definitely helped me as I have moved here. And obviously I have a very supporting husband who is here with me in Nashville. And we both have very good jobs on the side of me doing music. So, we've been doing okay, even though we're going through a really tough time right now. I also have a job in healthcare. So I still have my job, and my husband has a job in healthcare. And so we're actually okay right now. So we are very fortunate to still have our jobs right now.
Wonderful. And that's very important. And the fact that you were able to have jobs when you got there so that you could be self-sufficient. Have you made any real good contacts since you've been there?
Yes, I have. I've actually became very good friends with a songwriter. Her name is Joey Scott, and she's been in the music business for a long time. And I actually knew her through a family friend. And she has been absolutely great since I've gotten here. She really welcomed me with open arms when I moved here, and I've met up with her many times. We've talked music, and we actually co-wrote a song together that I actually sang at my own wedding. So that was
oh, wow.
Yeah, and then obviously my producer, his name is Brian Cole, and he lives in Pittsburgh, and he is just an absolutely wonderful man. He has just done so much for me since I have moved here. And then also, I've met some songwriters along the way, guitarists, and so, I've been doing okay. I'm starting to kind of figure out Nashville and really see what the scene's all about, and I've really been connecting with people.
Fantastic. That is, it's good that you're making those connections, and it's even better that they are good, strong connections that you're comfortable with. You like the people, you're working well together, and that bodes very well. I did pick up on one thing. You said you sang this song that this person had helped you write at your wedding. Are you saying that you're a relative newlywed still?
Yes. I got married about 5 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, I got married in October of 19. Yeah, I know.
Now, did you get married in Nashville or back in Nebraska?
Back in Nebraska, yes.
All right. I was wondering because
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying. I'm wondering. Go ahead. They want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. When I got engaged, everyone said, "Oh my gosh, are you going to get married in Nashville or are you going to get married in Nebraska?" And I said, "I have to be in Nebraska. That's where my family's from."
Sure.
So, I didn't want everybody traveling here when it made more sense for 2 people to come to 400 people. So,
right, exactly. And before we run out of time here, before we run out of time, I want to give you a chance to tell the folks how they can find you online so they can get in touch with you, follow your career, follow your music, and buy your music too.
Absolutely. Yes, I am on various social media outlets. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And everybody can find me at Savannah_Niter. And then I also have a music website that's called SavannahNiterMusic.com. So I hope that people can start following me and really, really start following me everywhere.
Okay, and sometimes it's hard to tell words and names that you're not familiar with just hearing them on the air. So your last name is Nider. Would you spell that for them, please?
Yes, it's Nider.
Okay, N as in Nancy, I-D as in David, E-R.
Yes, perfect.
Great, thank you. That way it makes it easier for them to, I know I've had to do that sometimes. I'll get a representative will call me and say, hey, check out this artist. And I get online and say, how do you spell that name? Of course,
Right.
what's worse is when they give me one I can't pronounce. Then it's a real problem when you get them on the show. But
That's right.
Okay. How about your music now? Obviously, that's what it's all about. And I love the anthemic approach you have to We Are Us. That's something that I think the more it gets heard, the more plays it's going to get, because it's just one of those motivational songs, and it's a good one too. It's not just something you obviously just threw together to make an anthem out of it. It's a song that really moves you. And I was wondering, tell us, if you would please, about this other song we're going to play, which is something a little bit different. It's called Terror in Disguise. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Terror in Disguise was one of those really fun, kind of a mysterious pop song, and I just really liked the sound of it, and I thought it really, really fit my voice. It's a little bit different than Wear Us. Obviously, Wear Us is a lot more motivational, but Terror in Disguise is kind of that fun, kind of upbeat, mysterious song. It kind of reminded me of like a Kelly Clarkson song or something like that, and I just really, really liked the beat of it, and I thought it was a super fun song. I really enjoyed cutting that song.
Well, we're going to enjoy listening to it. And Michael at MTS, who pointed you in our direction, also told me, and he's a great guy to work with, at least from our standpoint. He's brought us some great artists, yourself included, and they've all been really good people we've enjoyed having on the show, in addition to being able to play their music. And he told me, I hope this isn't I hope we're not letting the cat out of the bag, but I do. We like to break sneak previews, too. And I'm told this is a sneak preview. This hasn't even been mastered yet.
This is very true. Yes.
Okay. Well, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Most probably, for the first time in the world, this is Savannah with Terror in Disguise.
Maybe that's why it's a